All right, YouTube. This is a 90 Buick LeSabre. Didn't run very good. Pretty hard to start. This is the 3800, also known as the 3.8. This is the first gen. Hence the casted intake manifold single piece. I know a lot of people have problems with the Series 2. They have a plastic and a two-piece, and they seem to leak and go bad. But the commonality on these, a lot of people who have problems with them, are drivability issues. Cats start getting clogged and they start losing power. This one actually got so bad that the cat was so clogged it literally melted the EGR, and then the EGR was blowing hot exhaust gas, which wasn't good for the fuel either. You can see it was heating up the fuel rail, and then also it melted the injector wires and also the prong and wiring for the EGR. So just to test this thing and make sure I'm not, throwing parts at it in a crapshoot for the nice old lady who owns it, I just cut a piece of plate. I literally unbolted the EGR, just put a plate, drilled 2 holes in it, and basically it's like an EGR block-off plate, you can buy or whatever else. And I just did this just to, eliminate some issues with the EGR being melted. It did run. It didn't run very smooth, but it ran better, of course, but wouldn't gain any RPM, and under load it just had no balls. So took the cat out. I don't know if you can see in there all the honeycomb. This thing's all fucked. So the front side is all broken up, all the honeycomb and everything's all jammed right here, and then it melted to about here. So this thing couldn't breathe at all and had so much back pressure that pretty much pushed everything through that EGR and melted everything. So I put a new cat on it, waiting for a new EGR to come. Got to do this wiring and then we'll be good. But big things to check for in this car, like I said. I mean, these cats start going out and they start clogging, they start losing power. People start throwing, tune-ups at it and just throwing parts, map sensors and mass airflow and all that shit. But first thing I did was, that was kind of obvious because it was burned, but fuel pressure was good. I actually took the mass airflow out and cleaned it. You can remove it just from here, but I also wanted to clean the throttle body as well. So between just blocking that off, new cat, and cleaning the mass airflow sensor, we'll see. This thing's got 175,000 miles on it. Even with burned wires, it runs smooth. So there we have it. Sounds good too, actually. I love these late 80s, early 90s V6 cars. They sound good and they got good balls. So we'll put the EGR on it, clean the thing up, and send it out. If you guys have any questions about any of the 3.1s, 3.3s, 3.8s, a lot of these W body cars, Luminas, Buicks, I can't think of what else, but a lot of these W body cars, late 80s all the way through 90s, they had pretty much every V6 engine in them, from 2.8s to the 3800. But they're good motors, and I mean, you gotta think this is a 90, and up to 95 they still had TBI on V8s. So this motor is ahead of its time, and they stand the test of time for sure. I mean, these things, I see them in wrecking yards all the time, and it's either the transmission or something around the car. The motors almost never go. So just something to look out for, guys. Don't rule out anything. Sometimes you think harder instead of smarter, but I've seen this too many times where, even the EGRs won't be fried like this, but they just run like garbage and people can't figure it out. But these things, after, not even just age, but, after 100,000 miles, these cats almost always go, and just like that one did. But I mean, it progressively got worse and worse and worse. You and I would probably notice a little bit more than somebody who, you know, is up in age and doesn't drive the car hard or on the freeway. You know, she just goes to get her hair done and that type of shit. So we'll get it back together and call it a day. Get questions, comment, subscribe, do whatever.